Dave, I guess we'll start. Yamamoto looked like he got taken off the ice. Is that COVID related or in?
COVID related.
Okay.
Tested positive this morning. On a rapid test, tested positive, and then he took the PCR test or whatever. We'll get the results later on, but was on the rapid one, he was positive.
So, McDavid, Barry, and Ryan, theoretically, if they're healthy, are they eligible for you to play on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
The timeline sets, I think it's Sunday they come out.
Okay. You had 3 days now, and then you play a game, and then you don't know when you play again after that. What's your approach to practice now, I guess, over the next few days to ensure that your team can get out of this funk on Monday?
We wanted to get up and going a little bit today. Tomorrow will be an optional day, and then we'll have a good practice with everybody on Sunday, is what we're thinking. After that, it's still wide open. We'll see what the league brings. The Monday game, we'll gear to that one, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
So that Cassian was up earlier talking about how team can play a really good game, and then it's one mistake at a key time seems to be the detriment, and that's gone on now for a while.
Yeah.
How can you help coach that out of a group when it seems to be different guy every game?
You can, we've trying to talk a lot about game management. You're in a tight game, 2-2 game in the third period. You got to make sure that little plays get made. It doesn't have to be a great play through a guy's legs every time. You can make a simple play to push the game along, or get a puck in that's just, you're not taking risky chances. So we continue. The biggest thing with that, game management is a big part of winning, right? And to manage the game right and take some of those mistakes out of it, and don't put yourself in a position where you have to make a mistake, or the chances of making a mistake are more. So these are things we talk about all the time. We got to get them out of our game.
Dave, I believe over this 13-game stretch, the penalty kill is below 70%.
Yeah.
What have you seen that's caused the drop-off there?
I think there was a number of things early on. We were using a lot of different defensemen when our defensemen were hurt there, between especially Nurse and Keith and Cece are all out. They're key cogs of it. But we just, the one the other night, we partially win the draw and the puck bounces out the wrong spot and it goes in the net. So your penalty kill goes on strings like that. Sometimes, you got to try to take as least amount of penalties as you can. 2, you got to try to give yourself the best chance to kill them by taking some of those mistakes out of them again. So it's if there was one thing you could just put your finger on, you would, but we just seem to be leaking one a game here lately.
And on the offensive end, and you guys, you get a lot of shots on goal, but I'm just wondering, do you feel that you guys are busy enough, in the blue paint at the other end, whether it's keeping pucks alive, searching for rebounds, throwing the puck into the goalie's feet, all that kind of stuff?
Well, we're spending enough time in there. I think on the fancy stats, we're the number 1 possession team in the league in the offensive zone with puck possession. Now, that being said, I agree that there's more times that we can get people and pucks to the net more, or have the opportunity to get pucks through to the net more with people there, and that's something we've been talking about. I think we've been better at it the last little while. You'd like to see that turn into goals and possibly penalties drawn, but we've got to have that mindset to continue to get there. But that being said, people can get there, but the puck's got to get there also.
Dave, I just wonder about Dylan Holloway and what you saw from him in his first practice with the team today.
Yeah, he was an excited kid out there today, especially when Yamo got pulled and he went right to Draisaitl's line. That was, no, he's been working hard. Like I give him credit. He skates every day here with David Pelche, and he's finally getting to the point where I think he's close to being, like today he was in practice, but it was supposed to be non-contact for him, but so he's getting close. Hopefully he gets up and get an opportunity, whether it's down in Bakersfield or here, and they got to talk to him about when he can get going. I think he sees a doctor again on Monday, and hopefully that's the last step he needs to get full clearance.
Do you think he could start here? You kind of seem to think maybe he could.
I would say it's more leaning. He hasn't played in a long time. I think it's more leaning to go down and try to get some games in Bakersfield, especially with us having very limited games here the next little while, it looks like, so he'll get up and going down there would be my guess on it, but I don't know that for sure yet.
I know it's hard to judge off of one practice, but can you see the skill set that he has and kind of envision him being, a player for you down the...
His skating is elite. Like even David Pelche said, like Pelch was treating him like his son there for a while. He loves him so much. So his skating is elite, but he's had that wrist has bothered him for a long time, so it'll take him a while to get his puck stuff up. But he looks good out there. Like if you went out and just didn't know he had an injury and you're watching him out there, hey, this is a pretty good player here. So we'll see. He's got to get up and go, and he hasn't played in a long time, but he's a really good prospect, and he's fitness-wise and attitude-wise is excellent.
I know you touched on some of this in Toronto, at least the day before the game and whatnot, but how would you kind of describe the mood of this team as you've gone through this stretch, and even for yourself? As obviously there's been some criticism and whatnot.
We're like anybody else. You got to block the outside noise out and concentrate on what's going on inside here. And I would say our attitude's been pretty good. Guys are trying to help each other, encourage each other, push each other. There's all of the above in there. I think our veterans have done a good job in there. Mike Smith coming back has helped. He's got a strong voice in the locker room. Duncan Keith's been very good also. So it's there's a push in there. Now we just got to find a way to make that push into results.
And just quickly, a couple of the updates on some of the injured guys, Lagesson, Russell, and Nugent Hopkins, if you have anything on those.
Nuge he was getting treatment today. I don't think he'll be on the ice for another week or so. Lagesson's got a bruise on his foot from the other night. He probably will skate tomorrow. He put a skate on and was sore today. Russell is getting closer. He's about a week away, I think, from being available.
With Holloway, are we too far along in the season and he's been out for too long that it's realistic to expect that at some point this year he could step in and be a guy in the top six who could make...
That'll all depend on how, if he goes down to Bakersfield and gets 8 or 10 games in, you'll probably get a pretty good gauge of where he's at, so that'll depend on how things go for him, I think. But you can tell he's got talent. There's he's got size and talent that look like they're going to be NHL at some point. It's just a matter of when.